Okay, the hits just keep rolling. This is probably going to come out today because it's relevant. But I did just record the next one right before it. So the heart was speaking today. Maybe it's the Holy Spirit. Maybe it's my own ego. I guess time will tell. But I'm trying to do my best. So I wanted to mention Iran again. I made a video about it, and not many people watched it. They're probably not interested in hearing my political takes. That's fair. But this time I'm responding a little bit to Cannon and Creed. He's actually, Miles from Cannon and Creed, has made a video about sort of related to just war theory, at least applying that to the recent war in Iran. And I made a video saying that Iran will probably be better off. That's a little bit of a clickbaity title. I don't think it's false, at least from what I can see with the information that I have now. But yeah, it's supposed to be an attention grab. But let me kind of reel that back in here just to say that, is it great to go to war? No. Should we be trying to use war sparingly? Yes. So let's go over the details about what makes a just war, because I believe Miles is maybe a little bit mistaken on it, because he, for one, says that the scope of the war is undefined and is probably not fit for being just cause for a war. I disagree. From what I've seen and heard about, Trump has said that he plans it to be, I think he said 4 to 5 weeks, 4 to 6, something like that, and no more. Now, we'll see if that's true, but so far he's been keeping on his word for things like that. And if it is true, then that's great. That is totally defined right there. I don't need to worry about that technically. I mean, that's a pretty short war, all things considered. I mean, Ukraine and Russia are still going at it. And then we also have is the scope of it, or maybe the fact that it's expanding and expanding. Is that okay? Well, I mean, is it great that other countries are now entering the war? No. But would that have been predictable? I'm not sure. I guess that's up to higher intelligence that I don't have. Maybe from people that are actually smart, or you could consider like information from the CIA, the higher intelligence that I'm talking about, whichever one you think is more applicable. But I have neither, so I can only say what I can see, which is that it looks like Iran, their defense minister claims that they had a whole bunch of orders already set in place that if they were to be attacked, they just start going crazy, something like that. Because I believe they knew that they might get attacked, because the U.S. had been building up its force in the area for 2 months before this war started. So, but is it still, from my knowledge, safe to say that it would not have expanded into like 8 other countries? No, I don't think we would have expected that, because why would Iran be attacking everyone in the region? I don't know. Maybe because it's an unstable state, and that, I would say, is a point towards maybe it's a good thing. If Iran is just indiscriminately, I don't know if I'm using that right, or indiscriminately, that's what I'm thinking of, indiscriminately attacking every other nation around it, that's probably not the sign of a good, stable state. Of course, all the atrocities that the Ayatollah committed, but that doesn't guarantee that that's a good cause to go to war. So that, I guess, leads to the last point, which was the casus belli, or casus, I don't know how you say it. I don't do Latin. Was that solid? Did they have a good reason to go to war? That one, I think, is probably the most questionable out of the 3 qualities of a just war. And it is claimed that if they didn't go to war, Iran would eventually build up the missile technology, I'm assuming essentially a defense system robust enough that no one would really be able to stop them without causing a lot of casualties. And if they don't stop them, the claim would be, the further assumption is that things would go even worse for the rest of the world. Because at that point, no, they wouldn't really be able to be stopped without nukes or something along those lines, and they'd be free to wreak havoc on the region. And that claim, I don't know. I would lean towards, personally, I think it's definitely an unstable state, and if Trump treats it the way he did Venezuela, then it could be a good thing that the regime has been, I don't know if destabilize is even the correct word here, but at least the Ayatollah has been taken out. So I guess that one we'll just have to see. But the upshot of all this is still all dependent on whether or not Trump keeps his promises and the war actually does stay as contained as it can be, and it has a clear end goal, and that end goal is followed through with, and the end goal being we're not replacing the entire government with our own choose a dictator store, choose a government. It never works out. It basically never works out. And I think Trump realizes that. That's why he's already said he's not going to be instating the Shah's son, the former Shah's son. So the previous government of Iran, before it was overthrown by the current one, was, I don't know the exact term for it, but essentially it was the Shah that ruled the country. It was more of a monarchy than it is now. I think at the moment it's more of a theocracy, a brutal Muslim theocracy. And the Shah, in fact, was also put in there by another U.S. coup, but we won't get into that for now. But essentially, that Shahite, for lack of my knowledge here, it seemed to be a lot better, more stable, and generally more liked by the populace of Iran. And so it would be easy just to say, oh, well, the son of the last Shah before he was deposed is still alive today. Reza, and I'm forgetting his last name because of my poor memory. I did know it as of like a day or two ago, but I just happened to be Reza Pahlavi. I got it. See, we're all good. Anyways, he's still alive and kicking, and he's in decent health, and he's in the U.S. But Trump is not actually going to install him. He's actually still looking in the current government's list of known people, including the son of the Ayatollah, Khamenei. I can't remember how you're supposed to say it. Something like that. But anyways, so they're looking at instating him in there. And I think still keeping their regime is one of the smartest things they can do. If the Iranian people want to overthrow the government after we're, through, I guess that's up to them. The government would be sufficiently weakened that it probably wouldn't be that hard to do if enough people rose up. Should they? I don't know. I couldn't say if, the devil we don't know is better than the devil we do. And even then, the devil we do know just died. Was just killed. So, it is what it is. So, all of that to say, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if this ends up good, but I don't think people should be writing this off just off the bat. I've been seeing a lot of people that believe that because you go to war, a few times now, that automatically makes you an evil person. And maybe you could say that is a bit of an overstatement. I don't believe it is. I think people have been saying, well, I've actually seen somebody say, because of their warmongering attitude, they believe Trump to not be a Christian. I mean, I don't know if you can really just discount someone on their propensity to go to war with unstable and unstable and I'm trying to think of the word. Very bad regimes. Good gosh, you can tell it's late and I've been working for a while. I can say propensity in the same sentence and then very bad. So, but you get what I mean. They're not like the what's his name in Venezuela, or was in Venezuela. Not Bolsonaro. That's the guy from Brazil, not even in power anymore. I cannot remember. Too bad. Anyways, the former leader of Venezuela and the Ayatollah Khamenei, they're both not very good guys. They're not good leaders of their countries. They've done very, very terrible things. I'm not sure if going to war with these regimes automatically makes you a bad guy. Now, if we're talking about, like, we'll just say invading the Netherlands and Belgium and Denmark and Norway and Czechoslovakia, I think you get the picture with that one. I mean, I think invading other countries to expand for no other reason but to expand, yeah, that probably puts you in the realm of evil, for sure. But there's only been a few casualties so far in this war, and that is insanely a tragedy. Anytime I hear that, I'm like, yeesh. We haven't really had that issue before. I don't like hearing that we have U.S. casualties. I don't actually take that lightly. But even still, hello. Thank you, car, for turning on the radio. Wow, that's very professional. So, I don't think you can necessarily say that these two people are the same. And nobody's actually, from what I've seen, compared Trump and a certain Austrian man this way. But I don't think you should. I don't think the comparison's not even close. So hopefully no one will make it. I don't know. We'll see, because there have been a lot of nations taken over in the Bible, mainly the Old Testament. But even still, I think I just read about it today, or heard about it today, that when confronted with soldiers, Jesus did not tell the soldiers that they need to lay their arms down and repent, even though it says in the Old Testament, I believe, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I mean, that seems like if that were to mean, you should be a pacifist. If that statement means you should be a pacifist, then Jesus should not be rewarding these soldiers with advice. I mean, I guess you can call that, I would call that advice being a reward, instead of damnation. But I can't remember what else he might have given. But I do remember he definitely gave them advice. So he didn't tell them to lay down their arms. So I don't think that going to war is necessarily a bad thing. Not going to war once, not going to war 3 times. I mean, this is all dependent on what actually happens. So my call in this video is for people to lay down their arms, or rather lay down their pitchforks against Trump, because I think we need to see what actually comes of this before we can really get a good handle on if this was a good idea or not. A lot of people would say generally probably no, but and that's fair. I think we'll just need to see what comes from this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, goodbye.